Hey, in this video we're going to talk about nested for loop in Java. In Java, for loop can be nested inside one another. That means we can have one for loop nested inside another for loop, and the inner for loop iterates inside the outer for loop. The syntax of nested for loop is: first we have the for keyword, and inside the parentheses we write the initialization, condition, and increment or decrement statements. And inside that for loop we have another for loop with another initialization, another condition, and another increment or decrement statement. This is called inner for loop, and the outer one is called outer for loop. The inner for loop iterates inside the outer for loop. Both of the for loops have their own initialization, own condition, and own increment or decrement statements. So now we're going to do an example program and try to understand nested for loop in detail. In this program we are trying to print the triangle of stars using nested for loop. So first we have created one class called loop, and inside the class we have our main method, and now we are going to write the nested for loop. So first we have one for loop, and we are going to create one control variable I and initialize it with 1, and the condition is I less than equal 5 and I plus plus. Then inside the for loop we have another for loop, and we are going to create another control variable j and assign it the value 1, and the condition is j less than equal I and j plus plus. And inside the inner for loop we are going to print the stars. And after that we are going to do the line break. So in this program we have one outer for loop with the control variable I initialized to 1, then the condition is I less than equal 5, and then I plus plus. Then inside the inner for loop we have control variable j with initial value 1, and the condition is j less than equal I and j plus plus. And inside the inner for loop we have printed star for every iteration of inner for loop. And then when the inner for loop breaks, then we have one line break here with the println method. So now we are going to save this program and compile and run this. So first we are going to compile the program, and then we are going to run the program. And you can see the output is a triangle of stars. So now trace out how the program is working. In first iteration the value of I is 1, so the inner for loop will go from 1 from 1 to 1. So the inner for loop will iterate one time, so 1 star will be printed. Then we have the line break, so the pointer is in the next line now. In the next iteration the value of I will be incremented to 2, so the inner for loop will iterate 2 times, so there will be 2 stars printed in the next line. And then the line break, so the pointer will be in the third line. Then the value of I will be incremented to 3, so the j will iterate from 1 to 3, so the inner for loop will iterate 3 times, so 3 stars will be printed. Then again we have the line break, so the pointer goes to the next line. Then the value of I is 4, so the inner for loop will iterate 1 to 4, so the 4 stars will be printed. Then again we have the line break, so the pointer will be in the next line. This time the value of I is 5, so the inner for loop will iterate 5 times, 1 to 5, so 5 stars will be printed. And then we have the line break, so the pointer will be in the next line, but the condition is false because the value of I is, which is 6 now, so the outer for loop is break, so the control exits the whole nested for loop. And this is how we got the output onto the console. Hope you understand the working of nested for loop. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.